What is up, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Wrestling Godfatherz podcast. I am your host, Don Mystic, aka the Overweight Cruiserweight, aka the Nacho Man Randy Cabbage. And who am I with?
None other than Don Sub-Zero knockoff.
Made in Mexico. Um,
Where
aka Mr. Money in the Bank, aka the Million Peso Man. I kind of like how you're doing this whole thing where you change
every,
your name every
every
week.
well also
It
so
could, it
does the
could be
face
like a
gimmick.
South Park type of thing. Like, you know how they killed Kenny every week? You just
Shit.
change your name every week.
Well, here's the thing: it's not just changing name; it's changing the facials.
Yeah, changing the facials too. And it might hurt your brand recognition, though.
Oh, yeah, all.
Hmm.
Well, you know what? If you want to know what I truly look like underneath this facade, follow our Godfather's podcast, OnlyFans. Right now, we're running a promotion. Hit us up.
Yes. You won't be able to see his face. It's only feet. Feet and peanut butter, feet and pickle juice, all kinds of different shit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of the 411. They're not our feet. We
Nope.
have paid a homeless man to get on OnlyFans and do nasty shit with his feet. Anyways, moving on. I believe you had some stuff you wanted to rant about on a
well,
certain Raw.
well, okay. Let's talk Monday Night Raw. Raw after WrestleMania. So WrestleMania, for the most part, day one was excellent. I liked day two a lot. I thought altogether, good show. Now the Raw after Mania, uh, not so much of a good show. Actually, it was fucking boring. I think the biggest thing I can say about it was it's boring. Like I, I was bored. I didn't like it, and I know that might not be like everyone might get mad for different reasons or upset or not like something, but flat out, it was boring. Now, I just will break down hour one, and that will let you know how boring this was. So, show starts out, Triple H comes out. Okay, I get it. You know, it happens. Sometimes the person running the thing has to come out, say a few words, probably because earlier in the day, WWE was sold to Endeavor, which is the parent company of UFC as well. So creating one mass super live event company, I get it. Come out, address the crowd, let them know that we're not going anywhere. We're not turning into UFC Junior or anything like that. We're our own IP. They're their own IP. We just, live in the same house. Okay, cool beans. But then Triple H proceeded to introduce Roman Reigns, which predictably got a lot of boos, but because Roman walks slower than a goddamn snail, it took fucking, about 16 minutes for him to go from the ramp to in the ring. And every time he's about to talk, he pulls the mic down because the fans are booing. And he has this sort of stupid ass look on his face. And it's like, I like Roman
Okay,
Reigns.
in defense of Roman Reigns, he always has a stupid look on his face.
I know,
That's
but
just his face.
I know, I like Roman though. But I'm
I
like,
don't.
you know. But
I,
here's
I,
the thing, though.
I like him as a wrestler,
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously he's a heel. I tend to like gravitate more to the baby faces. You're
yeah,
more of a contrarian.
yeah.
You're
I go
more
towards the
open.
heel. Yeah, but here's the thing that kind of upset me about it. Every time he goes to talk, the crowd's booing, but he pulls it down as if like, oh, can't say anything now. No, you. What did you think they were gonna do? I mean, literally, what? I mean, you didn't beat Cody clean. You had to have the Usos come out and then Solo Sokoa fucking thumb spike him, Samoan spike him, right? So I mean, look, you were being booed. Okay, I get it. Fans are upset because they didn't like the way WrestleMania ended. I get it. But then he comes out, says a little bit. Cody comes out, takes forever to get to the ring, and I like Cody Rhodes. But dear Lord, can we get to the ring with a little more haste here? Cody gets in, and then maybe one of the more dumb promos takes place, and I like both men. I think they're both good. But the idea that no, you can't get a rematch, and then Cody being like, "Well, fuck, if I can't get a rematch, then let's have a tag match." Basically, like what I thought Cody's trying to fulfill the dream of becoming a champion. Like a Rhodes becoming a champion in WWE, right? As opposed to Cody just wanting to get into a fight with Roman and his family. It's like I know his rationale is I basically wrestled you two yesterday, which is true, but I just didn't like the phrasing. So then Paul Heyman comes up with the world's dumbest stipulation, right? Like, it has to be a wrestler who wrestled. It's like, all right, well, fuck. I mean, you could have just said anyone who's willing to tag with you, and but anyways, stupid ass stipulation. So then here comes Brock, right? Brock takes forever to get to the ring, which he doesn't normally do, but this time he walks around ringside, does a hot lap for reasons unknown. He gets in the ring. Roman pulls the mic up, then decides to drop the mic. Look at Solo, look at everybody. They have like a little facial face off. And then Roman and Solo and Paul Heyman calmly exit the ring and walk away. And then Brock's music hits. Like, once Brock's music hit the first time, no words get said. And I was like, that's fucking stupid. I mean, there's no commercials either, so this is all kind of dumb. And then next thing you know, a fucking match with Omos versus Elias in a squash that's like less than 2 minutes. You got to be fucking me here. First of all, I don't know why Omos is being pushed so hard. He has no fucking charisma. Look, and I'm not dissing the guy
Not and
because
here's
I
here's the
don't
thing. He
think
has no charisma. He also has no wrestling skill either. He comes out, does a couple power moves, and the end.
in the end,
He
right,
has no move set.
right,
Like if you play him in a WWE like
2K,
game, every button does the same exact shit.
big man chop. But here's the thing though, the crowd, because by this time you're 40 minutes into a show, you've seen a Triple H interview, uh, Roman Reigns interview, Cody Rhodes counter interview, and a walk in the ring and walk out of the ring Brock Lesnar. Literally, you didn't hear him speak. Uh, and then your first match is a match that does not hype the crowd. It doesn't build off the storyline, doesn't even look. I'm a big fan of Monday Night Raw. I've watched Monday Night Raw since its inception, and back in the early '90s when it first started, mid '90s, excuse me. Um, when it first started, there were squash matches galore with literal ass jobbers, right? So I remember those days. But the babyface or heel that came to the ring garnered a reaction, right? It was somebody who you either wanted to boo or you wanted to cheer. Omos came to the ring and everyone was like, the fuck? And then when it's like he's wrestling Elias, you're like, oh, this is going to be easy. And then Elias pulled zero offense and just got his ass whooped. And then, of course, there's no reaction. The crowd was dead. It was like, you gave me no reason 40 minutes into this thing to care. And then the first match you give us is 2 minutes long. So I just literally just watched 40 minutes of people talking and I watched 2 minutes of action and it blew ass. I was like, that sucked. Then, of course, they do a 5-6 minute, Monday Night Raw highlight, or excuse me, WrestleMania highlight video montage. And I'm like, okay, are you going to build off this? So Rey Mysterio comes out and does his, gets on the mic, which is fine. And of course, he's interrupted by Theory. And I'm like, oh, hey, another interruption. Cody interrupted Brock earlier. Now Theory's interrupting Rey. And of course, an impromptu match. And of course, Dominic and the rest of Judgment Day come down. Cost Rey. I get it. But here's where I'm beginning to get pissed. Theory beat John Cena, who's I know he's over 40. I can at least say that. I don't know how old the cat is, but he's old, right? He beat John Cena yesterday. He beat an old cat in Rey Mysterio, but they're doing like I don't know. I've seen this story a million times in WWE. Randy Orton was the legend killer because he did the same shit. They're doing the same shit with Theory. And I'm just like,
Are
man,
they?
this
I'm not 100% sure they're doing the same
no,
shit.
I
Like
mean,
they did this to set up Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny against Dominic and Priest at
yeah, but it could have been some
Backlash.
are you yeah, but it also served Theory to put
I
another
mean,
victory
I'm
over a
yeah,
legend,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, you could have just had Dominic come out and call him out, and they have a match. But
Yeah,
whatever.
or but the point is all these matches felt cold. Nothing was hot. Nothing was look, if you're going to do this tag match, which legit sounded cool, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns, that sounds cool. But give me a reason to care. Give me a reason to be like, oh shit. Other than oh, this just sounds cool. Like, why don't they start with that? Or they say, all right, they get into it, have everyone run down to ringside, break them up, and then coming up in our main event, we got this. Okay, now I'm juiced up. I'm excited. Because by the time we get to the main event, I'm not the only wrestling fan that does this, and I'm sure actually I think almost every wrestling fan does this. Come the main event, you check a clock because you want to know how much time you got left. If it's not a pay per view or a premium live event as they're called nowadays, right? You check the clock because you're like, oh shit. Like if you see there's 4 minutes left in SmackDown and the main event's just starting, you're like, this ain't gonna end on there or something stupid's gonna happen. So first of all, Roman take, the whole intro, the 1 million minute intro of everybody, right? And we've already seen these characters, which was stupid that they had to have a 1 million minute intro. But by the time it's supposed to start, you're like, man, we got minutes left in the show today. Minutes. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way this match ends that fast. And then, of course, because Brock attacks Cody, and I was like, are you kidding me? And the reason I was like, are you kidding me, is because now you've deprived us of the only reason we care, but no one Brock's already over. Brock already. Cody's like, no one was served well by this. This doesn't make Brock look particularly good. It doesn't. So you could jump someone from behind. Yeah, you could have also beat Cody up normally. Like you're the fucking beast incarnate. You're a fucking giant man, right? Like this is not really building you up. And then of course he's doing the double middle fingers, and it's like, wait, I thought you were a cow. You were a cowboy a week ago. At WrestleMania, you're wrestling Omos. You're probably pissed. So now you're jumping Cody, but now this is going to be because Cody has to go through the Beast Incarnate. So I'm like, I've seen this story before. Uh, you could look at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 11. Shawn Michaels versus Diesel in WrestleMania 11. The very next night on Raw, Psycho Sid turns on Shawn Michaels, which set up a huge heel turn, right, for Shawn Michaels, or excuse me, face turn, turned him from a heel to baby face, right? Uh, I'm not saying Cody's gonna have a heel turn, but Brock sort of showed. Now Brock's gonna do a little bit, be a heel if he wasn't already, because now he attacked the baby
He
face. But
wasn't a
now,
heel. He was kind of like I don't want to say in Austin territory, but he was like a face who did bad shit.
exactly. But now you're
He was
setting
an
it up
anti-face, I guess you would call it, like an
exactly.
anti-hero, anti-face.
Anti-face. But now you're setting it up because Cody now has to go through Brock. By the time Cody gets done going through Brock, they'll probably throw someone else in his way. He's not basically Cody's not gonna get another shot at this till SummerSlam, and then maybe or maybe not. But at least the way I feel it's going, because I'm like, this reeks of shit we've seen in the past. Like,
Hmm.
and that's what upset me the most was it bored the fuck out of me. I look, say what you will about the last couple months, and I know a lot of people are like, well, here are all the positives Triple H does, here's some of the negatives. Um, but I think you could honestly tell that Triple H, uh, Triple H may or may not be neutered at this time because
Well,
because this was something smelt funny about this episode of Raw. It
well,
felt old and
I'll tell
stale.
you what. There was a reason something smelled funny this
Oh,
about
tell me,
this
Dom
build.
Mystic, tell me.
Tell me,
I've never
okay.
been on the internet.
It has been reported by many news outlets that Vince McMahon not only changed a few things at WrestleMania, he changed a shitload at Raw. So here's a list of the things he changed at WrestleMania. The only things he changed were there was going to be a wrestling, not wrestling, but a segment between LA Knight and Bobby Lashley
which
that
would
was
have been,
completely canned.
you know what's
And
funny about that, real fast? The crowd would have popped big for that. No one wants to see dumb fucking Shane blow his fucking thighs out. Fuck you, Shane McMahon, you bitch.
well, I
Sorry.
think that might have still been
I don't
planned.
care, dude. I'm so like you're gonna on the biggest showcase, you're gonna give old ass Shane, who's not even a wrestler, some fucking shine, but Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, who's been a long serving main eventer, right? Or, close to that main event level. And LA Knight, who is hot as hell, especially in Los Angeles, but yet you're gonna run out Shane to do a fucking leapfrog and die on the mat. Fuck that.
Well, to be fair, his father does want to kill him, and I'm not saying that he was trying to do so. He was trying to finish him off, but he does endorse what he's doing, and the
I
only
just
thing I
hate.
can think
I
of
don't
is
like
he
Shane at
wants his
all.
son dead. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like Shane at all. I've never bought into his character. I don't know why
the
people
only thing I
fought
like
for him.
about Shane is his stupid ass dance that he does while he's coming down to the stage.
Oh, and he's just gyrating his feet.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it is kind of like one of those things where it's like so stupid it's funny. So that's why.
yeah, I mean, I get it in that respect, but I'm like, he didn't deserve it. He didn't do it. Like, the only reason he's there is because of nepotism, like, because dad owns the company. So, like,
That
literally,
to
it's
be
only.
fair, he does put his body through a lot in
Oh
his
no,
matches,
I'm not.
but
I'm
that's
not
not a good thing.
right.
He's
No,
gonna
no,
kill himself at some
no.
point.
I'm not talking about Shane bumping because he bumps like a
But he
psychopath.
also he bumps, but he also like
Right.
fucking he
But he
stiffs
had,
people.
but he has, yeah, he hasn't been there since Royal Rumble a year ago. That's another thing. Like, that's part of the reason. It's like I got it in the Attitude Era because he was an actual character, right? He
Yeah,
was an actual every week doing something with somebody. When he was when Kane hooked him up to the battery. You know what I mean? Or like he was feuding with DX or something like that.
yeah.
Shane McMahon, I get getting a spot on the show. But Shane McMahon, who we haven't seen in over a year and 3 months, just out of the blue getting some shine when you got guys like LA Knight who need that spot because they're an active performer, right?
Not only an active performer, but somebody that people actually want to
Right.
see.
Exactly. And who in LA is going to get a
A
bigger
huge
pop,
pop. To be
which will
honest, I think
sell.
he would get a huge pop anywhere. He's actually pretty liked by most
Oh, of
fans.
course.
So
He's pretty over. But I
yeah,
mean, even it would be even more over if
he was in the place where he named it
if he
after.
yeah, or he even gets in the biggest showcase of the year, he gets an opportunity. Same with Bobby Lashley, but instead we're running out Shane and Pat McAfee. Now, I and
I
those
like Pat
no,
McAfee,
I
but
do too. I like Pat McAfee a lot. I'm not saying anything against him. I'm just saying that if you're going to do Shane and Pat McAfee, then maybe cut a few of those video packages and throw in extra segments so Bobby Lashley and LA Knight could show their mugs. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh, I'm definitely with you. And the only other thing he changed on that night was for some reason he like they brought Shotzi's tank to SoFi Stadium, but they didn't use it for some reason.
Yeah, that's
So
weird.
yeah, it's weird, but like I mean, it's a weird thing to change, but whatever. And then Raw, he changed a bunch of shit. So he took out a promo of Cody Rhodes taking a phone call at some point was taken out. Like there was going to be an angle with Bad Bunny working with the Latino World Order, which backs the whole idea that there's almost definitely going to be a tag team at with him and Ray at Backlash.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
stupid because Ray gave the LWO shirts to right? He did that prior to WrestleMania, right? So Bad Bunny fits that perfectly. But okay, so
yeah, in I guess internally, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Street Profits was listed as a undisputed tag team title match, though it wasn't reflected on television. Candice LeRae and Piper Nevin were had matches cut an hour before the show. Originally, there were going to be two triple threat matches for women's
Hmm.
to start a tournament to determine the next Raw Women's title contender. Omos versus Elias was a last minute addition.
Yeah, of course.
Wait. Coming so late that Omos had to scramble to find his gear, having not planned on wrestling that night. Oh man.
It's just, but he look. We can even look. By the way, you know, this reeked. The whole episode reeked of Vince McMahon, which is probably why it sucked ass. Because
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
in the mid '90s and the early 2000s, you know, uh, I'm a big wrestling fan. Been since the '80s, since I was born, basically. But look, Vince had his time where he was doing cutting edge shit and having talent who was cutting edge do shit. Now Vince is a shell of his former self. Like everything seems stale. It almost felt like when Triple H came out to give that promo, he was in essence telling the fans that we're still here, we're still gonna try, like to keep the positive changes coming, but like we're not going anywhere. Like when he said that, it reminded me of when Vince came out and said the same tagline, then no, forever. And then he retired the next day, right? Well, so called retired. So, like, it felt like Vince's fingerprints were all over this, especially with Bailey or not Bailey. Well, Bailey being cut from the show, that was stupid. Seeing like, why would Damage Control not go out as a trio, even if Bailey's not wrestling? She's supposed to be the manager, right? That made little to no sense. That like storyline wise made no sense at all. Um, Another big change, or another thing that I noticed was the Rhea Ripley Bianca Belair segment. Right, I I like both women a lot. I just was like, I get they're going to set up the possibility of a women's unification match, but I didn't like how Rhea was like came out and Bianca responded with, "Well, why don't we do this?" Right? Like instead of talking about it, like I'm ready right now. And Rhea just waves to her and walks out of the ring. And I get it; it's a heel thing to do, and I get making Bianca Belair look strong. But I was almost like, well, if you were gonna have Rhea Ripley back out of it, which the heel does, right? Why don't you throw that in a backstage segment? They could have had that same interaction backstage, and it would have made even more sense if Bianca was on her way to wrestle a match, right? That way she was like, "Yeah, I'm ready here right now," and then you could say Rhea's like, "Ah, you have a match already. We'll do it some other time." That way, Rhea doesn't look like she's just backing out. But when you have Bianca standing in the ring with the belt saying like, "We could do this," and then Rhea just backing off, it's like what? It's like, why are you making Rhea back off, especially when Rhea is always aggressive? She even steps up the men, right? Like, it's not I don't know. It felt passe. It did not feel like good work. I don't know. This whole episode of Raw. That's why it annoyed the shit out of me. It's like it feels like a retread of. Well, it is a retread because Vince does what entertains Vince. The problem is his fan base are not 76-year-old men.
Mm. I mean, to be honest, I don't view Vince as like a mature person, anyways. I view him more as like a 5-year-old. I mean, he thinks dumb shit is funny. So
Yeah, I know. I was like that. What? And
now,
it's
let me just address the viewers for 1 second. You may be thinking to yourself, what can I, as a viewer, do to save us from Vincent Kennedy McMahon? And I'm gonna tell you what you should not do.
yeah. This
You
is what
should
you should not do by Dom Mystic.
Yes, what you should not do is you should not go out and pirate a bunch of WWE stuff so that the ratings do just completely tank, and it's blamed on Vince Kennedy McMahon, and he might get fired. You should not do that because pirating is wrong. And if you are maybe a family member of Vince who has access to his prescription medication, you should not change them without torrents. You should not do that. Totally shouldn't do that. Totally shouldn't do it. You should do none of this. Okay?
Do
You
not do
should
any of what
not
Dominic saying.
do any of this. I mean, they can't do anything. I told them not to do it. That's the right thing to do, right? You should not do it. All right? You should not do it.
Could you? I know, right? Could you imagine being the WWE Twitter admin, like the guy that has to, or gal that has to run their Twitter account and their socials on Instagram? They're probably like, "Fuck the fans," because online it was just a shit show. Everyone was going off on Vince, and it wasn't positive. It was insults because of his stupid mustache. Dear Lord, he looks like a South American dictator. I saw someone type that in Twitter, and
Speaking of social media,
yeah.
uh, I noticed that hashtag Fire Vince was on there, but I don't know about you, I felt that they didn't have enough hashtags. So what I want to do is just I want to give you 5 hashtags of Vince McMahon that should trend. So here it is: 5 hashtags for Vince McMahon that should be trending. Hashtag number 5. Hashtag porn stash Vince. I don't think we need to explain that one.
Yeah, it's because of his little pencil mustache.
Yeah. Number 4. Hashtag Vince sucks cock. And I bet you're thinking, aren't you afraid you're going to get sued for defamation? Can he prove that he doesn't suck cock
I
in a
wasn't.
court of law? I would love to
I
see him take me to fucking
Oh
court for
Jesus
that.
Christ! I was not actually thinking that. I was actually thinking of slobbing on some knob. What can I say?
Anyway, number 3, hashtag 3-inch Vince. That speaks for itself. And this one goes along with that. Number
What
2,
what what nickname did he give himself back in the Attitude Era? The geriatric jackhammer.
I don't know, whatever.
All
Number
3
two,
inches of it.
number two is hashtag baby penis Vince. So that's a little bit smaller. Anyways, and number one, drum
There's a
roll
lot of
please,
penis stuff.
drum roll please. Hashtag Vince pedo question mark. Yeah, make them all trend, people. Not only that, I want you to go in the comments wherever you're watching this, go in the comments, and I want you to put in your own hashtags. What do you think should be like trending for Vince McMahon right now? But before we end this a little bit, because I do have ones that didn't quite make the cut.
Oh
I have
Jesus!
more. Hashtag button penis Vince. As you can see, I'm pretty sure he has a small dick. Anyways, hashtag Vince's mom so fat.
She's not even
Uh,
alive. She's a dead one.
do I've never even seen his mom. Like, I'm just assuming. Hashtag Vince is impotent.
Oh,
Uh, hashtag Village Idiot Vince. I like that one.
oh, I like that one
Uh,
too.
hashtag Vince wears dresses. Hashtag senile Vince. That one's funny because it's extremely true. And hashtag die Vince die, which is
Jesus
not a
Christ!
threat. Which is not a threat.
Yeah.
It is just rhythmic.
Oh
It makes
Jesus
sense.
Christ! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where I say the views expressed here are only the views of Tom Mystic.
Hey, they aren't even my views. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't prove nothing. You can't prove nothing.
Don Sub Zero knockoff. Please don't sue Midway.
All right. So yeah, we had a but seriously though, Vince McMahon being in back in power is horrible for the brand.
Yeah,
Um, let's talk a little about the Endeavor buying
purchase.
them. Yeah, the Endeavor purchase. Do
They
you
only
think
bought
that
51% of it.
they have control, but I think they also have control of the board of directors too.
Yeah, but they have 51% of the shares.
Yeah,
So
something
they're
like
the
that.
majority owners. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think that what do you think it would take for them to fire Vince?
It'd probably have to be sexual misconduct, but not
I
from the
don't even know
past.
about that because
I think
like
it'd have to be
didn't Dana
from.
White do some fucked up shit and they never got rid of him?
No, the only thing Dana White ever did was he slapped his wife on vacation, but his wife in the same video, his wife slapped them first, and then they both came out and said they were intoxicated and they're seeking help. And I mean, look,
Now, when they say they're seeking help, do they mean they're seeking like therapy, or like
yeah,
a or a
or
slap instructor? Because they do have that. They do have that new show slap.
yeah, yeah, no, but that's the point though. When his wife came out and said, "Look, I slapped him first. He slapped me back. We're both heavily intoxicated. This, we're working on our this part of our marriage." Like the wife and him and Dana came out and were like, "Hey, this we understand this was wrong, and here are the steps we're taking to rectify it." Which they don't know anyone really because it's their own personal relationship.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
but because it was a mutual like, "Hey, we both fucked up," that's why I think people aren't tripping. If it was just Dana White beating the daylights out of her and like she did, was a complete damsel in distress and then came out in the media and was like, "I don't know why he would do that," then I would see where there'd be a major issue. But like with Vince, I don't think any past sexual misconduct because it's already come out and sort of bit him in the ass, even though he had NDAs. I
I
think
mean,
anything,
also they. I mean, I'm sure they did their due diligence on
yeah,
all that kind
sure,
of stuff before they bought the thing. If they were gonna like oust him, they would have done it during the buying process.
right. I think the only way now Vince could be ousted, like I would think, is if he broke some holy rule. Like if there was fresh allegations nowadays, then that could be subject for removal. Or if he was embezzling money from Endeavor, then like basically not reporting that that's money for an NDA. That stuff would could hurt him now. But outside of that, I think we're unfortunately gonna see Vince till either he passes away because I don't what he probably has no life really outside of wrestling.
Hmm.
But at the
Yeah,
same respect though,
and I want to remind everyone that just because it would be a really effective strategy, you
no,
should
no,
not
no.
pirate
Oh yeah,
wink for the
yeah.
audio viewer.
Jesus Christ.
Not wink, wink. I have something in my eye.
Wink
No,
in
but you should
parentheses.
not pirate all of WWE stuff so that the ratings tank and Vince McMahon is ousted because of it.
E-
I mean, you shouldn't watch it anyways because it's garbage now, anyways. But you definitely shouldn't pirate it and then just to see the thing tank.
Yeah.
I think I'm pacing off Don Sub Zero knockoff.
Well, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. The only hope, the only hope I think people, I think wrestling fans or fans of WWE have, uh, I think their only hope are two things. A, premium live events. Any premium live event, even when Vince is in charge, is always the production value is always top notch. The matches, the talent's good, so good that the in ring quality is very good. So you're not gonna, even when Vince is in charge, the premium live events are always done well. That's not something he fucks up. He might not do a good job picking winners and losers, right? I mean, that part we know Vince meddles in and kind of screws up. But the in-ring quality of the premium live events, that's gonna be the same. That's not going anywhere. The thing that I hope And this is probably not likely. But I hope the backlash is so vigorous and so strong that it gives Vince some perspective. Like, what if Vince, you know, what if Vince has, say, direct control of like 2 to 3 storylines, right? And then you let Triple H run everything else, because like you could tell where Triple H how you could tell is look at the last look at all the last Raws leading up to WrestleMania, then look at this one, right? You could tell where Triple H may have been involved and where Triple H definitely had no involvement, or at least was not the was not the point man on, right? Triple H knows damn well that, I mean, just look how much better WWE had been doing under him having the book. Now he might have the book in name, but it doesn't mean anything when Vince usurps everybody. And I hear rumors that the morale's low, and I believe it
Mhm.
because I mean, the look on Seth Rollins' face on that Twitter video that came out earlier in the week, where people recorded him during the commercial break, and then the 3 workers at WWE ringside giving him new instructions,
Yeah.
right, on the fly. Like, the morale's low, and I get it because Vince is old school, and Vince only does what Vince wants, and that's why the product suffers, right? Because Vince is highly predictable because he repeats the same shit because he's been doing it for so long, and his way of booking is frankly the modern fan doesn't jive with it. That's why you could always tell. Like, that's why when I was like, the worst sin Rock could be is boring. Even if the guy, like, I don't like Austin Theory's, I don't like his character, but if he's done well, then at least it's entertaining. At least that heat is more because it's that heel heat, right? But this was just like, I have no reaction. I'm just bored. Like, this sucks,
Yeah.
right? In fact, no, it almost felt like WrestleMania and the Raw after WrestleMania were 2 different worlds. WrestleMania felt like, hey, there's, even with Roman winning, there's a story here. We could do this, we could do that. We have subverted expectations. Like, there's somewhere to go. And then you're watching this and you're like, where do we go? If anything, it's like we have no one for Roman because Roman's not worried because now Cody has to go through Brock first, which means fuck all for the title, right? Because
Yeah.
what's Roman gonna do? They'll probably book him in Puerto Rico versus I don't know. They'll find
I don't
somebody
know.
to.
Part of me wonders if they might not even book him in Puerto Rico. Like
Yeah,
he might
maybe
take,
not.
like he might not even do it, and then you have like Bad Bunny, Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, and then because I do think that Cody's gonna take the belt off of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and
If
just
they
now.
don't, if they don't do that, they're absolutely dumbasses. But like the question is when. I mean, a lot of obviously everyone thought it was going to be WrestleMania, but they subverted our expectations.
Yeah, and I'm sure Vince wants Roman to hit the 1,000 days, but this
I'm
this
be honest
this
with you, like if that was their main concern, it's a dumbass concern.
well, here's what's stupid about it in my estimation. This is sports entertainment, so the 1,000 days, that would be more relevant if it were not predetermined, because well, you could lose it at literally
Well, I
any
mean, yeah,
point.
but it's not, people aren't supposed to know it's predetermined.
No,
No,
I know,
like
but I'm
it
that's what
would
I'm
also
saying is
be much more relevant if like there weren't a lot of other people who've gone longer in the history of
right,
WWE.
right. But that's what I'm saying is the 1,000 days. It almost, the fact that it's like, well, you've gone 1,000 days, but you still haven't won.
Oh, you still there, man? Oh no, did we lose him? Come back,
Yeah,
Sub Zero knockoff. Okay, there you're back. You're back.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm back. Yeah,
And now your
thousand
voice is
days.
off. There we go. There we go. Okay, good.
I'm back, ladies and gents.
It wouldn't be a wrestling Godfather's podcast if something didn't go wrong.
100%.
Yeah. because we are students of reality, even though the thing that we talk about is I mean, it's not fake, but it's predetermined. We
It
had
is.
this conversation in the
They should.
last podcast.
Yeah, we did it. But you know what? My that's my big thing is like uh, I our storylines were on point. Like I really liked how WWE was progressing under Triple H. It felt
I
like we
think
were
that's
going
the problem.
somewhere, and
Everyone did, and then Vince came in and fucked it all up.
yeah, and
Paul
that's a
Levesque body slam your fucking father-in-law.
seriously like fuck like the other shitty part is it's like when Vince retired and well, not really retired, right? Like he does this whole big fake retirement thing, and then he muscles his way back in because he was still the largest shareholder, and now that they've sold 51%, he's probably still the largest shareholder of the 49% of WWE, which means the only way he could be ousted is if Endeavor outses him or asks him to leave. But I don't know if they would, right? Because they're looking at this as like a business. So because WWE WrestleMania made money, I guarantee you that Raw made money, even though it was boring as shit. So they're not going to care because they just care about the dollar bills, right? Stephanie or
I mean,
Triple H needs
the
to.
sad, the cold hard facts are the sad truth is that like just like with a boycott, you vote with your dollar, and things
Yeah,
like this, you vote with your eyes. And unfortunately, the sad fact is until fans start to just saying "fuck it," I'm gonna turn it off.
yeah, it's going to
He's
keep
not
going.
going anywhere.
No, he's
So
not. And that's what sucks because he's
the game,
no, the game's
this,
passed him by. He's lived
and
literally.
I get how funny that is because his son-in-law is.
It's called the game, right? And here's the thing. You know that quote from Batman, sometimes you live long enough to become the enemy? He's
Yeah.
literally done that.
No, no,
It,
no. You either die a hero
yeah,
or you
you
live
live
long
long
enough to
enough.
become the villain.
Right, and he's the villain now, right?
Yeah.
If
Well,
he
I
would
mean,
have
to be fair, he's always played a villain,
he
but
plays the villain, but
now he's the one actually killing what he's created, and
exactly. He
I
took
mean,
the
he's gonna be the Al Davis of fucking
yeah,
of
completely.
wrestling.
Yeah,
He created a great dynasty and he fucked it up before he died.
exactly. And that and his nepotism, it's like
To be
know.
honest, I don't care as much about the nepotism just because I mean, what? I mean, technically, Paul Levesque is there because
No, no,
slightly
no, no,
because of
no.
nepotism.
Yeah. Well, yeah, slightly because he's married to
Or
the
are you talking
boss's
about the like
daughter.
girls? He
No, I'm talking about nepotism in the fact that like Vince, Vince, but I'm sure it was Vince's idea to have Shane go out there and do a little something, something, and
again,
right.
that's because he wants to kill his own son.
But either way, like that type of nepotism is what kind of gets me. It's like God, because I see this with my favorite football team, the team that I support. With money and
The
eyeballs and
Dallas
some.
Cowgirls.
Yes, exactly, the Dallas Cowboys, right? I know you said that is the dumbest insult ever. It's like, so what? So you called this cowgirls like they're not even that creative. I get that all the time. But here's the thing: nepotism fucks my team over because our owner and his son are the ones who run the team, right? So I know firsthand how nepotism screws shit up.
Yeah,
But yet in wrestling, it's like, damn. And then like Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins could have came out and done more. Like Bailey could have accompanied Damage Control. Like they didn't build a single thing off of
they could have
WrestleMania.
had the actual tag team match.
Yeah, here's what's funny. They were so hot after day one of WrestleMania. And even though people didn't like them to day two, the match between the Intercontinental title match, Sheamus, Gunther, and McIntyre, that match was
Like,
fucking
dude,
off the
all
chain.
the women's matches I liked.
They
I
had,
like basically every match except for the absolute end
yeah, because
of
there was a good
uh,
match.
of the
Cody
last
Roman
match.
was a good match, yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
good match, but the last couple seconds,
yeah. No one liked the ending, but
yeah.
like,
But like,
here's the point: they
but
were
here's the thing:
so
the only matches you had on that whole, all both of those days that you could call bad were the Cena and Theory match, and I wouldn't say Brock Lesnar and Almost was bad. It was just like it was incredibly predictable because
yeah,
you had Brock Lesnar who can wrestle, and you have another guy who you knew he could only go like 10 minutes tops, and I mean, what are you? You're not going to put him over Brock, so you knew what was going to happen. But other than those two, it was great. And then you go
exactly.
into Raw, and not so much. And another thing, Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania almost always has next call ups, no next call ups. It
Yep.
almost always has returns. The only thing we got was Riddle, who, no offense, but I don't really care.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
The Yeah, look, they came in. They were coming off. They were so hot the night before for WrestleMania. They came in hot, and they delivered a fucking turd sandwich to the point where people were literally being like, the reaction online was like as if WrestleMania had totally tanked and was a botch fest. It's like they killed all their momentum. But Vince is gonna Vince, I guess. But if he really wanted what's best for his company, he would step aside. But anyway, it appears it's just me right now. So yeah, let's let's talk about why Raw sucked. Well, we haven't. If you haven't been listening, which you weren't anyways, because nobody listens to shit.
They don't listen to this
But
shit.
exactly. But the point is, look, they had such momentum, man. But then they shit the bed, and it was just like, damn. But here's the thing: I'm hoping that at least, because I'm sure Triple H is at least providing a counterpoint. Maybe some things do slip through. Maybe even though Vince probably was gonna have full autonomy like he always does, maybe a few things can slip through. So, as long as Triple H is involved, it has potential to be good. But damn, it
Yeah, but
like
I'm really
SmackDown.
worried that like
Yeah,
after that Raw, like how much is he going to be involved?
right. That's why
And
I'm thinking this SmackDown's gonna be a big litmus test because Raw was a dud. Will SmackDown be a dud? And then I wonder what the ratings for SmackDown are. Right?
what
Is
will have to happen, like if Vince McMahon is back in power, what will have to happen for him to realize that he needs to change?
That's the hard part. Self
Like I'm
realization.
sitting here, like, are we gonna have to see the ghost of Christmas or the ghost of wrestlers past, future, and present show up and beat the crap out of them or something? I don't know.
Or yeah, yeah.
Let's
That's
hear
the
it.
hard part. That's the hard part. But what can you do? And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for some doozy. But I never thought he would even retire, or at least pretend to retire. And those sexual assaults came out of nowhere. So who knows?
And here's the thing:
Maybe there's more.
with those kind of things, a lot of times when there's one, there's like 10 that you don't know about. So there might be more to come.
There might be. Anyways, look, all we're saying is Vince is just not a good booker anymore, and I wish he wasn't booking. The preferred thing would be him realizing that and just go living off his fat money stacks, enjoying his earned wealth, and then leaving the creative side up the Triple H. But
And if you agree with us, I want you to tweet stuff out with the hashtag porn stash Vince. That will help a lot. I want to see it trending, people. I want to see all these trending.
yeah, let's get it trending. Come on, to quote your favorite podcaster, let's go.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I just said.
Let's
That really could be
go.
anybody. Let's go.
Oh, I thought you were probably gonna be. I thought you were talking about like Logan Paul or something because I
Oh,
hate.
does he say that?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking you were saying because
Oh,
if either of us would know, it would be you. I
oh
don't
yeah.
watch his fucking podcast.
Hey, it's called impulsive.
You know who else has a hashtag 3 inch dick?
Oh
Is Logan
Jesus!
Paul.
You and your goddamn notebook, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when Don Mystic writes. He should be disencouraged from picking up a pen. I went to school with Don Mystic. I know damn well what happens when he picks up a pen.
Hmm. You know who else hashtag sucks cock? Dominic Mysterio. No, actually I don't do that one. I actually I like him as a heel, so don't do that.
Unless you're down with it, it's totally okay. We're not here to kink shame.
Oh yeah, we don't give a shit.
Yeah,
We're like the FBI. Don't ask, don't give a shit.
don't ask, don't give a shit. Oh yeah. Well, all I can hope is that if at least if Vince, if the world could only just throw us a curt. Oh, it'd be wild. What if what if Vince did something stupid and it comes out pretty soon that haunts him? That'd be great. Like, what if he was at the Capitol on January 6th with his fucking villainous mustache?
Well, to be fair, I don't think he had the mustache yet, but he'll be at the next psychotic rant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, like what would be good to get him out of power? Can we
Self realization.
can't we just plant stuff on him? That would be
Quick, someone
easier.
sprinkle some heroin on him.
Sprinkle some heroin on him. Maybe give him an unlicensed gun.
give him a give him a javelin and tell him to walk the streets. Here's a
The javelin, goddamn. And knowing Vince McMahon, he'd actually throw it at someone,
yeah.
which would suck for that person, but but it would get him put behind bars.
We'd hope. Well,
Actually, he has enough money where he might actually get away with it.
oh yeah, that's
Unfortunately,
for sure. That's for sure.
and if Vince McMahon, aka hashtag Vince pedo
Jesus Christ.
question mark, would like to send me some money, I'm more than happy to accept,
Yeah, I
and I
bet
will
you are.
use said money to spread the word about hashtag button penis Vince.
Oh god. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
I
we've
then
reached that time of the show where Dom Mystic is
all
gonna
right.
read his notebook, and
I
Dom
might
Sub Zero knockoff is gonna go put
I
the
might have
boots on.
taken a little bit too much of that allergy medicine, and I'm sorry to everyone that I went like mute and suddenly disappeared sometimes. But when you got allergies, sometimes you get a cough, sometimes you gotta like wipe your nose, and when I wipe my nose, I gotta take off the mask. And
Yeah,
I mean, what's the point of the mask if I take it off in front of everybody?
exactly. God damn it. That's
All right,
why you'll
everybody.
never see anything beyond my half closed eyes. They're open, I promise you.
They're not. They're not. He's actually not awake right now. He's talking in his sleep.
In my in my crowd reaction.
He's in a coma right now. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah, a heroin coma. I sprinkled some on him before to test if it would work with Vince.
but you
Too.
don't sprinkle.
And remember, Paul Levesque, you should not
Jesus
change
Christ.
his prescriptions with Altoids. That would
Change
not be
his
good.
Viagra to some sort of blood thinner.
God, man, yours is even worse than mine. Yeah, he would probably rather die than go limp on a girl. All right, well, that's it for us, guys. We will see you next week, hopefully. God forbid anything bad happens. but like my partner here strains a muscle doing like unnecessary.
I'm doing Sub-Zero shit.
You're doing Sub-Zero shit. Mortal Kombat.
That
No,
I'm
no, no, no,
freezing
no,
shit.
no. We cannot afford that license.
Oh,
No chance in hell. Anyways,
yeah. If this were only yellow, I could do Get Over Here, but it's not. So
you can do it anyway. No one is watching. All right. Anyways, peace out, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hasta la vista,
Hasta la vista.
baby.
Sub-Zero knockoff.
Sub-Zero wins knockoff.